And I said, to the anger of my audience at one time, and I was rather uncharitable, that the problem with Africa is that those who have ideas have no power, and those with power have no ideas. And that in many ways still informs. So you have all these ideas on how we can green Africa. I listen to you and I can see you are babbling with ideas, but you don't have the power. And the fellow with power has completely no idea. And yet somehow, and this I think is your problem, when the electorate is given the choice between you with ideas and the one without ideas, the Africans' affinity for people without ideas is amazing. It's amazing. I was listening to a debate by the former head of UNIDO, who is a Sierra Leonean and is contesting to the president, and I said to a friend of mine, if this man has these ideas and I was Sierra Leone, I would vote him. He said, Africa can realize our potential, and this idea that Africa has had conflict is misguided, and he gave examples. Vietnam was at war. Cambodia was at war. Laos was at war. The two Koreas were at war in 1953. Japan was bombed to the ground in 1945. Yet they have revived. They went back to the foundation that you talked about.
We are not the only ones who had conflicts. Cambodia had conflict. Vietnam had conflict. In fact, in the 60s and mid-70s, they were referring to Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, and others as basket cases. They recovered, they transformed, and today, yes, they're self-sufficient in food production. They're major industrial hubs for producing goods and services which are bought by rich OECD countries. What am I saying? None of us are destined to be poor. No nation is destined to have disease, disasters, and death only. It depends on the creativity and the determination of their people. And for us, the difference between us and many Asian countries is that God gave us everything. And you heard me talk about the Garden of Eden syndrome. And that is not from me. That's from Ali Mazrui back in '81. Because God gave us everything. Every season something grows. And the minerals are everywhere. My country, they just discovered one of the largest pieces of diamond ever in the world. 706 carats. They just discovered it last week. God gave us everything. So somehow it seems our creativity died. Somehow it seems we are not as aggressive and ambitious as we're supposed to be. I want our children, since we may have failed them with all these isms you mentioned, yeah? I want our children to believe that they can be a Bill Gates. I want them to believe that with all this God-given wealth, oil and gas, bauxite, iron ore, titanium, you name it, that in fact they can capture this 21st century. They're good as anybody. If I can leave poor Sierra Leone, that has been ranked at the bottom of the heap for almost 3 decades, we're amongst the 5 poorest. Back in 2008, we were the poorest of the poor, the lowest human development index. If I can defy that and go to such a level globally, it means any kid can do it. And I don't want anybody making our kids depressed, less creative. That's why I chose that topic.